to do anything with the money or cooking or just anything. So he lost it. In the midst of that, there was family turmoil, and it was somewhat abusive of a home. So I went from this super loving home to almost like an abusive home in some respects. And I met a guy at work. I was working at Toys R Us. I met a guy at work, and he offered for me to come and live with him. He thought he was rescuing me. And so I just wanted out. I blamed God for my mom dying. I blamed God for my family being crazy at that point now. And I didn't want anything to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. I didn't want anything to do with God or other churches, but I didn't want anything to do with Jehovah's Witnesses. Oh, and that other part about what he was saying about, like, I remember asking, could we go check out another church? I want to see what this is like. I want to see what you're talking about, what we're not allowed to go into. Oh, no way. You cannot be exposed to any other kind of thinking. There is no way. And also, I did question things a little bit here and there growing up, and I was always told, it is what we believe. It is what it is right here. And so that there's no other way of thinking. There's just no other way. So even if you were to logically make a point, in my family at least, there was no other way of thinking. And you'd be guilt-tripped real quick back into it. So anyway, I ran away. My family called the cops like all the time, and they ended up getting arrested when I was 17 years old, and they found me, and I had to go back and live at home for a couple more months, and ended up leaving as soon as I turned 18. And there, I got pregnant. I had my son. He was born premature, and I was homeless at one point, and it was just a very, very bad circumstance for me. And I said, okay, this is not working. Jehovah's Witnesses kind of had a point, and I missed my family and friends. So because I had left all of that at that point and stuff, and so I went back. I told my family, I am so sorry. Please let me come back. And so I was disfellowshipped at that point. When you're disfellowshipped and you say you want to come back to being a Jehovah's Witness, you have to go through this 6 months of proving yourself. And what that means is that you show up at all those meetings that they were talking about, those 5 meetings, which is like 2 meetings on a Sunday morning, 2 on a Tuesday night, and 1 on a Thursday. And you just have to sit there with nobody talking to you. So I'm there with my little son, my 1-year-old son, who was a handful, and I'm by myself. I don't know how I'm raising him, and I'm just sitting there listening. And as I'm listening, I'm in my spirit, I'm like, this just doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like God. But not quite like that. But at the same time, like, this is my family, this is all I've ever known. In the meantime, I'm kind of like dabbling maybe a little bit here and there and talking to Christians, but not really hearing about God in a real way. I end up working for Kirby Vacuum Cleaners, where you are the person that goes door to door and tries to sell the vacuum cleaner. And the appointment I had wasn't there, so we're told to go around the circle of houses and try to see if you tell the neighbor to get into the house. A neighbor said, sure, come on in. So I'm doing the demonstration, but in between the demonstration, she's just asking me questions about my life. I'm telling her about my mom, how she died, grew up Jehovah's Witness, don't know what I'm doing right now. At the very end, she's like, wow, sounds like you've been through a lot. Could I pray for you? And I was like, okay. So she comes up and holds my hand, and she says a prayer. And that was actually like the first time I ever remember someone just saying, can I pray for you? Like, that wasn't a language I heard in my house, even though prayer was a very big part of our home life. It was just more the traditional prayer. You know, you pray at meals, you pray before bed, you pray at the Kingdom Hall. But it wasn't like going to God to pray. And I was like, wow. So she prayed, and I was just kind of taken back. I think I didn't even really process what was happening. And she said, well, you know, I go to this church. If you ever want to go check it out, I would encourage you to just come and check it out.